Welcome to the Shoot Off. I'm your host, Bernardo Oliveira, Brazilian Olympic archer, and here, every 2 weeks, we have one-on-one, in-depth conversations with some of the biggest names in archery. Before we start, I want to say that as the Olympics are now just around the corner, I'm preparing some very special content about the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Stay tuned because there will be some exciting stuff here on the Shoot Off Archery podcast, and I hope you guys will like it. And we finally have messages here to share. In case you want to jump straight into the episode, you can skip to
8 minutes and 40 seconds.
And now, let's get to today's messages. First one by Juan Rohafizan, all the way from Malaysia. Juan writes, "Hello Bernardo, wish you a good day." Thanks a lot. Good day to you too, man. Asking your insights. Any difference in feel and release between using Cordovan versus kangaroo leather for finger tab? Thank you in advance. Okay, so the kangaroo finger tab, I don't know if there is any other one that uses kangaroo leather, but I suppose one is referring to the fair weather tab, which happens to be the tab that I've been using for about a year now, I believe. So the biggest difference I felt compared to the previous Cordovan leather tabs that I used before, such as Win & Win, KSL, the biggest difference was basically that the kangaroo leather, I found it to be softer. And so there was a huge upside to that, which was how long it took for the tab to feel just natural and to get the shape of my grip, the hook and everything. It's like with other tabs, I believe it used to take, let's say, no less than a week, but up to 2 weeks for the tab to actually feel natural and everything. While the kangaroo leather, the fair weather one, man, it was like 2 days or 3 days. It was like really fast. It felt natural pretty much since the very first shot. So this was super nice. I think it's very comfortable overall in general, really. Like not only it's comfortable and feels smooth and precise, but yeah, it just feels really good all throughout. The downside is that I think because it's soft, I believe it might last a little bit less. So I'm under a year shooting with it, and part of the leather is starting to tear. So that is not really ideal, but this really changes from person to person, really. So it might be something that happens with me, but doesn't happen with other people. So yeah, I think it's totally worth the try. And in terms of performance, I didn't feel anything. I guess there are other things that impact as well on the tab design. And once again, this is very personal. One person might adapt better to one tab or another, so it's really something that you should try as much as you can. Maybe if you can get a training mate's tab, just, give it a go, just shoot a couple of arrows or ask their opinion, But in the end, yeah, nothing replaces just shooting the tab yourself for a couple of months, really. But I'm really happy with the fair weather tab. I recommend it to everyone. It's super simple, but feels great. And just look at how many top shooters are shooting with it. I guess it just speaks volume about the quality of it. So I think it's worth the try. Second message was sent by Francisca in Switzerland. She wrote, "Hoi, just listened to the newest episode with Lisa. Great job again. Thanks a lot. It was really fun to listen, especially as she uses random German words in between. Also nice to get some information on the situation in Brazil. Didn't know that." Guess she's referring to how elite athletes get supported in Germany and Brazil, different situations. That was something I talked to Lisa about. And she also wrote about the episode with Eric Peters. And she wrote, "Great episode again. However, I'm a bit shocked that you never heard of Brandon Sanderson." And yeah, so I don't know whether he is actually that famous in Brazil, to be honest. After I got this message, I looked up, and his books are translated to Brazilian Portuguese. So yeah, I should be able to read them in Brazilian Portuguese. But then after this, I hope I'm not bombarded with messages from Brandon Sanderson fans in Brazil saying asking whether I've been living in a cave or something. But anyway, he's kind of writing, this fantasy is not something I'm really into or that I've never read a lot in my life. So yeah, I might have missed that. But well, It's a great book recommendation, I believe. It was recommended by Eric Peters, in case you haven't listened to that. But yeah, and just talking about the episode with Lisa, I guess I didn't pay too much attention to that, but for German listeners, yeah, they can pick up. I guess, she sometimes she might be looking for words and then she just speaks out in German. It's kind of the knee jerk. But yeah, it's good that at least you managed to pick up something about the episode that not even I could. So happy for you. Okay, these are the messages that we've had for today. Thank you so much, Francisca and Juan Rohafizan, for getting in touch. Thanks a lot. And if you want, feel free to reach out to me with suggestions, feedback, questions you'd like to have answered here on the show, or simply cool stuff you want to share with me and all the other listeners. I'll be very grateful if I can help. So, shows Instagram, X, YouTube, and email are in the description. Feel free to get in touch. It was about time we had a compounder here on the show. And what an honor to have Italy's very own Sergio Pagni as the first compound archer and coach that I interviewed. Just a brief introduction in case you don't know him well. He shot more than 50 World Cup stages, and he was the first archer to win the World Cup final twice and in a row. Also, he's won the Vegas Shoots twice, and that's probably the toughest and most important competition one can win in compound. The list of his accomplishments as an archer is so long. But then came Sergio Pagni, the coach. Last year, in 2023, under his leadership, India stormed through the international scene. They've been a strong and successful nation in archery for more than a decade. However, it seems that Pagni's valuable experience and knowledge was the only thing missing. What was already a strong team became seemingly invincible. We talked in length about all of this and much more. So make yourself comfortable because this is a long one, but with amazing stories and insights all throughout. All right, Sergio Pagni, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. It's a real pleasure to have you here on the Shoot Off Archery podcast.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, really, I was really excited for this one because I've been seeing you on the circuit for many years from a distance, but I guess we never talked. But when I started this project, you were definitely one of the people I had in my mind to interview. So yeah, I'm really glad we're having this opportunity. And can you just tell us a bit about what you're up to very recently? How is 2024 going for you?
Well, 2024 is going pretty soft because as a compound coach for India team, this season for us is quite relaxing. We have only 3 World Cup stages and some continental competitions. All the pressure is for the Olympics, so it's not for compound shooters. However, be in the same field, working together all the day, we can also realize the tension and we can realize the feeling of preparing an Olympic game. Personally, my wife, Pia Leonetti, makes 2 Olympics games, so I understand 2008, 2012. So I know what means stay around someone that is going to prepare an Olympic game. So in this case, a compound is quite a good friend to have on the shooting line during the daily work. But for us, as a result, it's an easy day, it's an easy season, short season. And after all the results that we take in 2023 from World Cup, World Championship, and the Asian Games, for us, this season is like debriefing, relaxing, and making a very nice job.
Yeah, sounds good. And much deserved relaxed season because you guys had a blast last year. But more to that in a minute. That's definitely one of the things we're going to talk about. But I want to go back to the beginning. Something I'm really curious about as well is, how was your start in archery? How did you pick up this sport in the first place?
So basically, I start 2001 with not very interesting in archery. I was studying engineering in that time. My past was I grew in a sport family, and my dad and my mother both wanted, and still want to make sports. Also now are the nephew are the
Hmm.
most important for them. But I started with was when I was very very young in athletics, and then my city had a big basketball team in the major league for Italy, and so all my from I think 8 9 years old to 18, I was a basketball player in that team. So
All right.
after the high school and going to the university, I completely lost the interest, and then also have no time for
Hmm.
me any sports. So now my father was the most important, because my father still loving all the not classic sports, we can say. No, he was I think 1992 or 1989, something like that. I don't remember. However, he was a Italian champion for bowling, and also he made sailing and
Hmm.
surfing and dart also. So he makes a lot of not very popular sports.
Uh-huh.
And so when a friend of the family has to him to try archery in a city next to us, he say yes, I will do, definitely. Me and my brother both, we try some excuse to not go in to try. Um, but after the first time, he said yes, no, you have to go. You have absolutely you have to come with me, and you have to try. So after this, spent one year playing together, and then my brother and my father loves golf for during spring and during summer, and so for him was only a seasonal sport in for winter. My brother also has a job and has a start to make a family, so I was the only free guy to still
Uh-huh.
working and playing archery. I had a very lucky moment, because in that time, one of the guy in that team now is my big friend is Marco del Ministro. He was in the national team, and he also makes a silver medal in the New York 2003, I think, World
Yeah,
Championship.
2003. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was on the stage with the team, and previously he makes some good results with the European Championship. So for me, was a guy to follow. No, inspiration for a young guy that is starting. Even if I was not young, because I start playing a little more hardly when I was 23. I'm from 79, so make your calculation. So
Yeah.
basically, I started late.
2002.
Yeah, I start late, and I start very, very quietly. And then after the first understanding that compound was a nice tool, and understanding from some archer and few coaches at time, and that show me how to train, how to manage this, was my last having coach, because I make 99% of my stuff alone.
Wow.
Another big lucky that I still have is that Paolo Benedetti has a shop here next to my house. It's 10 minutes driving, and he is very very expert in managing equipment, string making, so tuning and all the stuff. So I grew into a very small part of Italy, next to one very good athletes and one very good equipment manager. No,
Hmm.
so I grew quickly, and so basically I started 2003 making some Italian individual championship. And then my first international result was in 2005. I won the Universiad in Izmir, and I qualified for my first world outdoor championship. And 2006, I won my first NIM, and then 2008 I won the second one, and I won face to face. So open tournaments.
Yeah, face to face in England. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it was face to face. Beginning was in Netherlands, was in Amsterdam.
Ah,
But
okay.
then they moved when they stopped to May. I think the last time was 2009. I think something like that was in Netherlands, and then they moved into Great Britain.
Uh-huh.
However, was a nice moment with a lot of international competition, open international competition. So I was able to play. I played my first World Cup in 2006 in Porridge. It was the first World Cup ever, and I'm still playing for 56 World Cup stages, and then all my results was history. In 2008, I was first in world rank, and I moved second. I think 2 years later. So I was for 2 years in a row first in the world archery rank. I won these two World Cup in a row, the first ever winning
Yeah.
two World Cup in a row.
Yeah.
So and then I still going on for until the last results that was with these two bows, Vegas 2016 and Vegas 2019. Uh, and after this, I still playing with for all the international competitions as a professional for Hoyt and Easton and Shibuya and Bater and all the brands that are still supporting me. And then I decided to move more because I start coaching more than 10 years ago. And I started working with the Indian team 2018, but at the time I was still a player. So collaboration more than full time.
As a consultant, maybe.
Yes. We arrange some stages. We start to work with the archer for high level and performing. And after the recast 2000, basically we started in 2022 in November with my first moving in India to work 100% as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was good, I think, and
I think so.
and I had a lot of fun because working with a team without having material, without having good athletes, sometimes can be boring. No,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
having are so big, you don't know how many they are, and so many juniors and also sub juniors, so high level of quality, very good numbers. So as inspirations also as a coach, and so I think that both decide as a inspired athletes as going into an inspiring and inspirational coach is a both sense from athletes to coach and the coach from athletes. So also my athletes start to work in a different way, and after the first couple of the results, all the team start winning individually and team. So it was going from performance into still performing was a very easy way to work.
Yeah. Wow. I want to pick up right on that you were talking about India. I just want to give some context if people don't really know what we're talking about here. Like last year in 2023, one of the biggest storylines in the world of archery was you working with the Indian team, actually being behind the shooting line with them, and then all the results that they achieved, like the first ever gold medal at the World Championships. It wasn't just one, it was three. And also domination in World Cup stages, World Cup final. It was really impressive.
And Asian Games, Asian Games was so important for Asia, and we clean 100% of golds and plus one silver and one bronze. So we take 7 medals up on 5 podiums. So.
Whoa, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and this year I was in Shanghai for the World Cup Stage 1. Were you there in Shanghai?
No, I was. Me and the team, the federation, we are. Can we say that the athletes was going very good? No, and also the performing during qualification and during matches was under control. There were also the previous season was. Mandatory as a building a very good team for the Asian Games. So basically, my entire contract was focused on the Asian Games.
All right.
So basically, everything I did was for having a performing team and a performing athlete. At the beginning of the season, I started with 50% of juniors in the team. So more than 75%, I was supposing, or yeah, only three guys already has some experience in the World Cup. So it was a very difficult to start to manage a team like this. So very high experience like Abhijit Verma and Jyoti, even if in the first World Cup of the season, Abhijit was out from the trials, only 1 point back from the fourth. He considered that he tied the last two matches for the trials, and he lost both the matches with 149 and a 10 in shoot off.
Mm-hmm.
So all this, and after 5 days of 2 times 72 hours and rubbing around 3 times, the first time for 32, then 16, and then 8, and he was out for one single point.
That's crazy.
Fifth position. So considering the level, he entered again in the second part of the season, and the first World Cup he did was in Medellin, and he won. So just to understand the level of the people that we left at home, people that individually are able to win and perform a high level of results. Rishab, that will give the place to Abi for the third. He was the JVD Open champion, and Ojas that was very upset because he was the only one without having a World Cup stage winning for the season. He claimed the World Championship. So basically, we had high results for all the athletes in the team, and this is this is really impressive. Not only the quantity of the results, because also in the past, or we can consider I don't know, Netherlands or Colombia, they had a lot of medals, yes, but 90% came from the same athletes, now from Mike Schlusser and from Sarah Lopez. Also, the second and the third athletes in the team still very strong, sure, but the most high level or the goals came from the same individual season after season. And in this case, we reach the top of the top of the podium, so the goals every time with different athletes. And this is very impressive. The number of athletes that I was I was able to maintain and ask to them a high performance. But however, I was when I arrived in India, I found so big group of talented guys that was impressive, really impressive.
Mm-hmm. I can relate to what you're saying, because here at the World Archery Excellence Center earlier this year, we had a group come from India to do the coach course level 1, and then it was a group of 13 coaches.
And this is the question that I forget to reply: why I was not this season with
Shanghai, yeah.
But really, it was for that, because the athletes was able to perform. So we worked 2 weeks before the competition, and then I gave them the space to work alone, so without me during competition, because I spent that week to coaching the new coach for future. So I had a classroom for stages for coaching all the coach in India, not all, but however a lot, because we already make 4 stages for 3 days each, and more than 30-40 coaches in every single seminar. So all the works that we're doing with the federation is not only on the athlete side, but is also in rising the competences of the coaches, because in future, even if right now we have a very easy way to work with athletes, because when they reach the high level, the competence of knowledge are really good, are really good. However, still working with the coaches in order to have in future more knowledge from the athletes that are incoming or are next to the national team is I think is a very good weapon to have a high level or high performance in competition. Consider that right now, talking about juniors, we make the trials for the season for the juniors team, and in the male, I have more than 16 guys that in a couple of competition they score more than 710. So it's a impressive level for a juniors, and it's not strange that 50% of the team of the senior team for the World Cup and World Championship is still juniors. So it's a problem for the more for the high level that one like Abhijit Verma that is still one of the leader of the team. But talking about scoring, these juniors are a lot, and so they're still pushing the level, and the top level athletes are really they have not a easy way to qualify for the competition. I have also in the women's side a lot, trust me, a lot of very good athletes that they are, I can say, frustrating because they are not able to go and performing in the World Cup stages. I say to them that in 90% of the team all around the world, you will be for sure qualified. Unfortunately, you have one team in front of you that is the world champion, but is not only the world champion because they never never lost a gold final in the last 2 years. So how you have very small window of opportunity to qualify and performing in that top level. So consider the numbers is like a pyramid. No, we are growing a lot the base in numbers, in knowledge, in preparation, physical preparation, mental preparation, and then obviously the top of the point is still growing in stability also because still performing every day, every time, and also in numbers.
Yeah, you're building something sustainable, right? Like, as you
Yes.
said, you're preparing the coaches and you have a lot of young athletes coming up and a lot of people. It's not just that you have the main squad with the big names and you're just putting all the energy and money into them. It's no, it's
My
the whole.
problem is the opposite. My problem is the opposite. Sometimes I put some focus on an athlete because I'm sure that he can perform in the World Cup. And then, as I saw, sometimes is I receive the information from the during the trials, and I read and say, "What? You're out for maybe 1 point, 2 points, something like that." And there's a problem, for example, of Ojas Deotale that missed the qualification this season because he had a little injury in I can say after February was after the Vegas tournament because he was interested in making some international Open Pro competition, and he has some injuries coming back, but in just 2 3 weeks he had the trials and he was out for a very small gap of points. And however, now we have the the world champion is looking the season from the home. So it's sometimes it's a little strange. However, as you see, the guys that taking his place are still performing. Priyansh was a guy that I put the high on him during the previous season. And I also I make a bet with Abhijit, say to him that he was growing so fast. Maybe next season we're having the team. Abhijit say that no, for me is a little too young. But I read in Priyansh a very good experience, a very good managing and mind, focused mind in competition. So I won this bet because Priyansh was qualified. And also, he was very good in the beginning of the season. So he lost a gold medal final, but however, he shot very good. The second athlete was Prathamesh Fugue, that taking this place of Prathamesh Jogad of the last season. That also he was a World Cup stage winner, and also Fugue was able to perform and maintaining a semi-final, even if he lost with very few points during the matches. However, he was performing a very high level.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up on something you said that the bet you had against Abhishek, and you saw this like the
Yeah.
young kid, and you're like, wow, he is coming fast and all. This is a question that I'm afraid it might be too broad and maybe even a little bit stupid. But me being a recurve archer, having all the background in recurve, I really would like to know from your perspective, what do you see in an archer that for you it makes it like, wow, that's a good guy in compound? Like, is there any difference compared to recurve? I don't know, but what do you see that you think
Yes
that?
and no. Yes and no. Okay, I have to split the question because the first part of my reply is about the difference in between a level, from my point of view, obviously, from a recurve and a compound. In a recurve, there is a could be a very good gap of technical distance between an athlete and another one. And like, for example, in the Koreans and the all the rest of the world in the female side, and this gap is so high that the athletes has not to protect nothing. Is pretty sure and able to maintain the his status of winning, no, and not having any doubt, any, we can say, any fear, however, any doubt that the opponent could take my point, could take this winning competition. I have so big margin that even if I wrong something, I still winning. And with the set system right now, for the high performance or a high level athletes, is still better because they can really make a very bad arrow, make a mess, and they can also still winning all the other sets. It's a little risky, however, but is able to do. So basically, now we can move into the mind of compound. Compound is never safe, never safe. I don't want to say 100%, but however, 95% of the athletes that start in every single World Cup stages during a matches are able to clean a 150. Everyone.
Yeah.
So how to perform and how to pretend that your athletes still working in that level, because you are never safe. You are safe only if you are following or you are trusting yourself in a proper way or in a very strong way. So in this case, we have recurve that when you have an athlete that is really higher than another one, has nothing to lose. He's in a bubble. He can protect himself just about the performance, requesting the performance. In the compound, you have athletes that are in that the same bubble. Like, I could lost 150 with an X of shoot off because it's possible. And so this gap, this sphere, I can see that it's a sphere, but it's something real. No, every time you take the car or the motorbike, you never supposed to make an accident, but is in the on the same table. No, is a car.
Yeah.
You have only to play with your car. You can drive slower if you want, but you are never safe.
Yeah,
And
I see what you
this,
mean.
I think, is the biggest difference between competition in the compound and in recurve. And that's why also, because why the people loves to watch Vegas, because Vegas is no one is safe, because only one single mistake and you're out. And that's the most nice tournament to see, because to watch, because it's very adrenalinic watching the final. But as an athlete, you have to focus on the fact that I'm so able to still making a 10 that is impossible to think about to make a 9. And this is not only working on the technical competences, on the mental and emotional competences, but is also working on this an attitude sometime. But if you have not this attitude, you have to build. And in this case, I was good in that because I had the competence and I work a lot on this. So I grow, and my part of the managing the mental and emotional part for myself was maybe too much. Maybe too much. I can say that I work on me a little too much. Even if when I was winning and I was performing, I never stopped to pretend or to study or work in that direction. That's why when I start to move into coaching, I was able to make a high request, because I was able to know how to teach properly, step by step, all these self-building or working on the attitude. No, and that's why I coach in the past. Previously, that India, I was coaching athletes that won World Cup stages and World Cup and World Championship. So my level of interest in coaching was high since 15 years ago. But however, the difference between having an athlete that you know that you coach and then you have to watch for far away, or be with the same shirt back to them on the final field, was completely different. So in this case, for example, for the India, the season, I was missing that part, because I also stay at home and watching the athletes for far was a little hard for me. Trust me, stay on the shooting line with the athletes is very, very important.
Well, but this that you're saying that like you were watching from far in Shanghai this year, you weren't there, but still the team performed super well, like 4 gold medals out of 5. Like that was an amazing display, and I think part of you must be happy to see that, like even if you're not there, they're still performing super well.
Sure. Even if I was not there, I was on the phone with the athletes, and I was watching all the finals from my laptop. So be the coach. This is a good point. I built a very good relation with the athlete. Very, very good relation, and the athletes know that they can trust me 100% because I trust them 110%. And when we reach the final field, they are never alone. They know that they can put on me all the stress that they have. I was able to maintain my level of stress when I was an athlete, and now I can say that is easier or more difficult. Is different. It's only different. But however, I have the experience to maintain and the high performance.
Yeah, but you said you worked on yourself to build the attitude, the confidence, and the mindset. How did you do it more specifically?
Well, I'm an engineer. First, the method that I still using, in fact, when during my stages and during my presentation of the processes, I every time say that is a method. Method means that there are several parts, several peculiar parts that you have to still working on, even if seems something stupid, no? And then when you merge everything together, everything has the point, and all the mindset, all the emotional managing go in the proper way. And I'm a nerd. I think that my definition is nerd, so no problem regarding this. But I grew with two big master. Now, master, the first was Yoda, Master Yoda from Star Wars, and the other one is Miyagi from Karate Kid. And both are still expressing the same proper way. No, you have to do or not to do. You can stay in the middle. And for example, if you merge some of this Karate Kid method in my method, the coach is asking to make some exercise that are very stupid. No, taking the wax and taking out the wax. No, this is a kind of exercise. The athlete a lot of time have not to understand where is the process to reach, but they have only to understand the competences that they need. And then when they are mature enough, or they are only able to maintain the performance using these instruments, so this is the best part, because you already make your job as a coach. You already put the instruments inside the mind of your athletes. And when you are so able to use these instruments, the easier part is when you need something, you will take easily, because it's something that is yours. It's not something that is, okay, you have to use this when you are in a very, very big trouble. No, there is no way. When you are in big trouble, you go back to your primary to your primary protection.
Needs to be internalized.
Exactly. So when you already has a lot of competences and a lot of instruments that you're still working with, obviously is so easy to still maintaining high performance.
Yeah. So this is part of your coaching method that I've seen you talk about before.
Absolutely.
And for, let's say, are there any takeaways that somebody who's listening to us, like any aspiring compound archer can take from this approach?
There is a little tool. It's not a little, it's a big tool. However, there is a little experience that I usually pass not only from some athletes, but also during some stages and some coaches. Sometimes we have not only the athletes, especially the younger, I have also the family, the parents. And maybe some one of them are also sport guy, but not so high level. So when I have to make also a lot of time I have to correct this because as a parent, stay back to your son or daughter because you pretend they make a performance, and sometimes you have to correct the parents because there is a lot of not very well done, even if they have a lot of love, but is not the proper way to pretend or ask a performance. And there are two examples that I usually do, and I'm still doing also today. I did one of this to show that there is not only the content is the way you're talking with the athletes or the way the athletes need to perform, no? And so these two scenarios are the typical. The first one is a lot of coaches and however, unfortunately coaches, but however, a lot of parents and try to give a good inspiration, a good instruction, saying what the athlete has not to do. No, do not think about the results. Do not think, just do yourself. But when you say someone to not do something, is the opposite. Our logical not is not existing. For example, if I ask, that's the first example. I ask you to think not about a dog.
First thing comes to mind is a dog.
First is a dog, and then you try to exclude with the logic and going. And when you are talking with the high level athletes, it's like you are talking with a classroom of 5 years old guys. You have a cake on your desk, and you have to go for 5 minutes, and no one have to touch the cake. What you have to say, because if you say do not touch the cake, you're putting attention on the cake. And the children, in the same moment you're going out, everyone in the class want to touch the cake. But if you leave the cake and try to ask, guys, there is a ball inside the lockers, do not open the lockers and do not play with the ball. No one is start to think about the cake.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first problem that a lot of coaches has. The athletes has not to follow your instruction because you have not to give the instruction that you really need. You have to distract, you have to put attention on some other parts. And shoot off. Shoot off. You have not to say to your athletes, do not think about to make an X. Try to make your best. The athlete is already thinking about the X. Is already thinking about this. So try to distract in another way. Because even if the athlete know that you are trying to distract him or her, or the athlete know that this is a good way to have a performance and give you all the power to distract them because they need and they know a lot of time. And the second exercise that I usually did is try to figure that you are after a hard day working, you are very, very tired. No? So you're coming back to your room or to your house and you sit on your sofa. How is possible that you miss the sofa and you sit on the ground? Is it possible or
Very hard.
yes? And you're smiling also, no? You're smiling.
Uh-huh.
So as an athlete, try to think that you are shooting. No, you're shooting 70 meters as a recurve in a match, and you never shot a six in the last 3 seasons. And then you arrive in the shoot off in the last arrow for winning maybe a gold, and you need the six to win. So is making this less than six easy as sitting on a sofa, or a little harder?
It can be quite hard if you think about that. If you're thinking about, oh, I can't miss.
Exactly. Exactly. I can't miss. It's impossible. It's out of the content. Is no imaginable.
Hmm.
So there is a limit that your mind still not recasting a performance. And this limit sometimes is really solid and you can perform. Can you take a target phase? Come on, yes. With your friends, I know every athlete's archery athlete in the world has a stupid friend that make this example. So are you think that you never miss a come on, go away. I never miss.
Uh-huh.
And for me, for example, is that the yellow in the indoor. Yellow indoor is absolutely impossible to miss. It's an 8. Is only if I have a broken knock or broken equipment, but shooting is out of impossible. And that's why, for example, when George Technikov was commenting the gold medal fighter in Nimes for the world inner champion, me against Rio Wild, and my last arrow, George say 9 to win. All the 5,000 people in the Nimes stadium will start to be a little tension because maybe he dropped an 8. No, I hear clearly Pagni Sergio won the world championship because it was impossible. It was one of my easier arrow because making this 9 was very very easy. And so this is the big difference of the SOFA rule. No, if you're able to shot with the impression that I have not to think to miss is impossible, is even not in my mind. And this is a little different. No? Smiling, you smile when you will talk about missing the sofa, but you stop smiling thinking about to shot at sex. No?
Yeah, but so your point is that to have this very solid, you have to be very aware and confident about where you stand, my
Really,
capabilities.
I talk not confidence is something different. This is this figure I call consistency.
Okay,
The
okay.
consistency zone is something that is more solid. The confidence is with the inside part with the 10 is something like, but is a little different. And the confidence in something that the athlete is taking his risk to do, and even if I don't, come on, is the same. Is the confidence with the 10. Is the consistency zone is something more solid. No,
Okay.
as the
Yeah.
limit that someone maybe that is watching the podcast is already feeling. No, the difference between missing the sofa and the idea of missing the sofa making you laugh,
Hmm.
but missing the zone of the target is not giving the same laughing. No, when you reach a zone of the target that making this is like making a big laugh. You reach the same level of competence of consistency that you have with the sofa. And in this case, and you already had, because every whole high level athletes had this, you stop thinking because this evening, maybe because I talk about, but this evening when you come back home, you never think to miss the sofa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never.
You don't even think about it. It's like,
Is out from the possibility. So this one is, I say, this one is only a couple of instruments that I usually coach the athlete. In this case, I show you the two content that are also easy to show to not archers because parents and that they want to see, and sometimes they say, "Oh, easy." Is easy. What means easy for you? Because something that is easy for you is not easy for the athletes. It's something that for you, come on, you already make a lot of nines. No, you miss the last one 9 to make your personal score. And even if as a parent you watch your daughter or your son and thinking, come on, 9 is easy for the athlete. That 9, if he's not coaching, he has not some instruments to work on that. It will be not so easy, and making an 8 will be very, very, very easy.
yeah, it can happen, right? And you're talking about like building the mindset of like this can't even happen. I don't even think about that. I don't have to worry about that.
And however, unfortunately for my athletes, my method is full of this content, is full of this example and this mindset preparation. And when you start to coach the athletes using these instruments during training, during small moments of preparation, when they reach the high level, they start to use without even knowing nothing. Aditi, for example, Aditi Swami is a 16 years old, so talented that impressed me so much when I saw her. And during the season, I remember clearly, I was not going with them in Medellin. And I coach until I think the Friday they live. And the previously weekend, Aditi has the new bow. So he want to set the new bow. He's a 16 years old with a new color bow, and she won. And you are the coach that you are working to have a high performance, and you don't want a new bow in the equation. So I said to her, okay, come on the field this Sunday. Is a free day. However, we are only us. We're taking all the day to set the bow. And I start to try every single step very, very easy. I have also to make some adjustment because it's not exactly the same bow. So I make my job, okay? From Monday, and she asked me, so I can start to shoot? You say to her, yes, but we make some exercises as a team, and but is individual inside the team. No, only one winners, male and female together. I call this exercise kill out. No, because you have to kill all the other teammates, but that's one single mistake and you are out. So that's why I call kill out. And however, this is a solid exercise that is more recasting right high level, arrow after arrow. Every single time you wrong something, you lost arrow, and then I ask for extra rules to have this arrow back. And the rules every time are different. Sometimes are a little complicated because I want that even if the athletes have not to think too much, sometimes they have to understand the rules, because even if they're changing the rules, they have to still maintain the focus that you can't say whatever you want, but I'm sure that if I still shooting an X, still winning.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. And so Aditi, that I remember was not Monday, maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, something like that. I say to her clearly, if you win, you will able to use the second bow in competition. In the last, he was shooting against Abhijit and Jyoti for the first place, and she shot, I think, 8 X's in a row, just because she wanted to perform in that level. And after this, she won, and they say to her, okay, so now you're able to, but you have to make tomorrow morning a scoring session and maintaining your level. And during this scoring session, she scored 712. But unfortunately, Aiko made the world record for junior, I think the same weekend, but during the same day that we set up the new bow, but was not official. So the Instagram and the social post a couple of days after. And so when I read, I was on the ground say, but she shot 710, no, and it's not the world record. She said, yes, it was 7.9 the world record. But I say to her, but you shot 7.11, you say me. No, I shot 7.11, but was not in official competition. I say, okay, never mind. You will go in Medellin and you will score 7.11. You know what happened? 5 days later, she was first in World Cup, scoring 7.11 in qualification, making the world champ with the new world record. So, but I never say to her, yes, it's possible that you are able to do if you're performing high level. I say to her, okay, it's done. It's easy. It's just a piece of cake. Mm-hmm. Piece of cake is something that we still say so many times during competition, team matches or something like that. No, the last athletes have to drop a 10. Come on, it's a piece of cake. So putting your athletes not in the way that have to perform high level. You have to put the high level here, and the athletes, they know that they're still performing here. So they still over the high level every time.
Yeah.
And that was my method, because even if I take the team that was in a very solid position, I'm still working, rising the competence and rising the level, and they was not understanding. It's like Karate Kid. They absolutely was out of their mind that their level was growing so high. And when they approaching the first World Cup of the season, Joti was making tie the world record and winning all the competition. And we had three mans in the quarterfinals in the first World Cup of the season. And that's what happened, because they arrive in a level considering that all the other were in the same level, but then they look back and say, okay, we are one stepping forward from the other team. But they still was not clear about, because the level of competence was pushed higher and little higher every time, every day. So if you're still having, and this is the good stuff, I'm not only good because I have also a team that was very good in that. If you have the lower team or the back team or the people that stay at home that are not pushing you to have this performance and you are not growing with you, it's very difficult. No, it's something like you have an anchor and you are not able to move so far. But when you have a good group of so young guys, so very open mind and very inspired by the work that you are doing, having no limits is the most inspiring for me, because I found a team that have absolutely no limit. And so when we reach the level of competition, we find that this is the new rule. No, having no limits is the new rule of the international competition.
It's so cool. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I get a feeling that you make it easier by making it effortless and making it fun. And is that so?
It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy.
I don't mean to say that you make it easy, but you make it easier.
Is easy, but have not to be. What means that have to be easy for the athlete, because the athletes have to understand that this is the easier way, and this is the very easy way to follow, and there is not a lot of problems working in that direction. But it's very difficult for, as a coach, maintaining the focus in this. And this is also a very big trouble for recurves sometimes, no? Because when you have your athlete that taking the shares and go in competition only for them, having a condition of making a good level is easier. But when you have the shirt that is very heavy because the country recasts the performance, and the athletes I don't want to say any name, but everyone knows that athletes that deserve a gold or however deserve a medal in the next Olympic Games, and everyone knows that who is this guy, but however, he is not free to go. He is not free to go and express himself as he wants, because the limit of the country, the limit of the journalists, the limit of the people, the limit of the crew, and the limit of the people that is still making a phone call to you or sending a message, come on, good luck. If it's easy, why everyone is calling me? If it's so easy, why everyone is so intention? If it's easy, why they're still having the national team coaches and all the other team that is still asking me and pretending me to make a better? And that's why, for me, protecting my athletes for the, not the intentional, but the natural interest that the nation has in the high performance level, and that want to make a test, want to make a recast, want to focus if the level is good. We have to change some names. This is the very dramatic part of being an athlete, because if someone better than you take your seat or qualify for the Olympics, and then the next season, is the place mine or someone of my friends or teammates will take my seat? So sometimes this opportunity is very hard to maintain, no? Talking about the great master of movies, everyone say that if you have a sand in your hand and you want to save, you have not to squeeze, because if you start to squeeze, all the sand is going down. So this is the defensive way, no? not to be defensive, but to be maintaining your focus on your competences, obviously is the best way. But you are not alone. You are not alone. All the, I can say supporting, but however, all the information that you still have to metabolize and take out during Olympics game. And I talk as a husband of a two-time Olympian, so I know what I'm talking about. So this is the most difficult. So focus on your strength and maintaining the focus on this competition that unfortunately is every single 4 years. For compound shooters, Vegas is easier, even if it's our Olympic game, but it's easier because it's every single season, every single year. So we can compete a lot of time. And recurve not. So in this case, this kind of serving, no, we need serving that protect us from the outside thoughts. And this case is more easy for compound than not for recurve.
Fascinating everything. So cool to hear everything you've said. We would need more time to discuss it all. I'm gonna make a little cut on this here. I told you we would take 1 hour. Do you mind if we extend a little bit, just because there were a couple of other questions? But I told you 1 hour. If you have to go, I understand.
No, I can spend some more, no problem.
Yeah, okay. But this is who listens to the podcast and knows that I've been saying this to basically all the guests that we're going to need for you to come back, because there are so many things more to talk about, like your competition days, the Vegas and everything, but that'll have to be for another time. I finished the show with 2 segments. One of them is Build the Perfect Archer. I'm going to name different aspects of the shot, and I want to know from you who you think the best person you've ever seen in that aspect is. And you don't have to be humble. It can be yourself. So the first one is bow arm.
Bow arm. Basically, I have a couple of ideas, even if there are some technical, some difference about technical. And I love mine, obviously, but I don't think that mine is one of the best ever. I think that Martin Dunn's bow is one of the most solid bow arm that I ever saw. And but I also think that working in a very long career, Martin Dunsbo is first, and I think Braden Galantin is the second one.
2 amazing names. Second one, and please have patience with me because I have a recurve background and I'd like to know if this doesn't make sense for compound, what would make sense, but the release, or at least triggering the release in the compound.
Release. So for sure, I have to put mine because as I say so many times, release in the compound is not mechanical, it's more mental. No, so when you can have a very good marriage between the mechanical and the mental parts, and they can merge together in a single action, it's very, very easy way to perform. However, I was very polyhedric in this. With my release, I changed the mindset up so many times. So, but however, I want to take me out from this. But when I start to work international level, and if it's listen me, or however, I would say to him to watch your podcast. Darren Christenberry from US team, and the first time I saw him was in Vegas. And he has a so smooth release that was impressive for me. And you have to consider that George Technikov called me as a Sultan of Smooth because my release was very smooth. But however, when I saw Darren, for me was really inspiring. Really inspiring me to have. I have a lot of work in that direction. But considering the old school, so when you need a smooth release, right now we need to have a more direct control of the release in order to perform indoor and 50 meters. And I think that my vote can go easily to an athlete that even if show a lot of disease in managing the release, and we had also some meme regarding the dropping release during final. I think that Stephen Hansen is one of the most interesting athletes in managing releases. He's still working, he's still using as I say, it's not mechanical, it's the mental part. He's still poking him to work in the proper way, even if sometimes he has problems during finals or something like that. But I saw him growing when he was I say younger. However, he's still young, younger than me for sure. However, is one of the most interesting way to, as a coach, also as an athlete, looking some athlete that is still, even if it's very high level, still try to have a little more margin. And however, working in the Denmark school, because we already talked about Martin Dansbo and Stefan Hansen, I can exclude the new generation. So Matthias Fullerton from this diagram has an increasing competences. I think that this guy are more interesting in that.
Awesome. Next, mental toughness.
Ooh, as the way to manage high level, I have obviously to express a good nominee for Mike Schlosser, because I know what means maintaining high performance for a lot of time, and he's the best in maintaining this. He's as I say to you, that should be easy. It really makes easier for him. So performing and going into final is very easy for him. Sometimes he's even not thinking to make a match. No, sometimes it's just shooting some arrows. A lot of athletes are not able to exclude the opponent from the equation of the matches. For me, for example, I always use the 1-to-1 during my matches, because I want never be excluded by my opponents during the match, because it's the only way to lose. No. And when I matched against Mike Schlosser, a lot of time he was not thinking about me, thinking about something else. So this makes me angry sometimes, because not because I lost, but because he never give to me the opportunity to enter in the match, because he was only practicing. No? And sometimes, as you see in some finals, he was not able to maintain this distance between the performance and the result. And sometimes also he's human, so
Yeah.
he was not every time so able to maintain some high level of confidence. And sometimes he's realized that it's a little difficult. But however, I think that the fundamental part, maintaining so easy way, I think Mike Schlosser is one of the best. I want to move also in the female side, because also Sarah Lopez makes in a great way. The fact that she's still crying a lot of time after the competition is a point of the fact that she's able to maintain a so distance between the level she's performing and the level of the competition that she's still winning, without having the emotional trust to perform. That's why she's able to maintain this distance so much. And after winning, obviously, she was showing that she is interesting. For me, for example, was quite the opposite, because I was trying to maintain so distance, and after winning, I was not able to be so happy, because I was distance from the matches, because I work in that way. I can try, but not in very few minutes. I need a little more time to be, okay, come on, I won. Now I can be very, very happy about it. Vegas, for example, maybe we can have a future discussion, but the first time I won Vegas, I was just thinking that I need a lot of 30 in the final, 30. So I was thinking only to make 30, because maybe someone will miss something. And during the call, the judges' call in Vegas is very long time. So I was waiting. I was the lucky dog also, so the last one. So when I reached, I was just thinking, like I say, debriefing, just thinking we have to go back and shoot another 30. Okay, so it was George Riles back to me, and he touched me and said, you did it. I look at him, yes, I make a 30. No, you win. Ooh, yes, I'm the only one with it. But I was not able to be happy in that moment because I so focused to maintain distance from the competition that for
Yeah.
me was impossible to be so excited, so happy. After 10 minutes, I was back waiting to enter in the flaming chariot alone, only with the horse. And I sure was very, very excited in that moment because I have another enough time to go in this. But if you see Sarah Lopez is really so involved in the final, so involved in the match. You have to see that after winning, she's able to talking about recurve, something that also with Brady Edison we saw. No, but Brady Edison was aggressive, so it was clean and he was winning because his aggressive way, but it's easier that not be emotionated like Sarah Lopez. So that's why I think that maintaining this distance between the final and the emotional parts for Salah is one of the very very uncommon. That's why she's so good and very inspirational for other athletes.
No doubt. And amazing to watch. Next up, body balance or stance.
I think that in this case, for me, is overvalue. No, there is not a basic one that gives to you so much more than other athletes. Even if I can shot on one single foot, and I can if I am very focused on my results, even if I think that this one is good for me, I can maintain the level. So in this case, I think that is not a very solid point. Obviously, it's something that for the guys that are watching me, yes, I know I'm still working for you in the balance, and I know that these are important because sometimes is the heavy is in the details. No, the and just missing some of these should be very very important because when you have the same competence and the same level of your opponents, everything that you're doing in a better way give you a little more. However,
Yeah.
I coached and I'm still coaching some athletes with evident problem in balancing, but they're still having a very good performing. I can make thousands of examples right now, but we have no time.
Yeah. Okay. So body balance or stance, it's overrated. Got it. Follow through.
This is another point. This is another point. Follow through as a recurve is very important. The line of the follow through and the maintaining of the line in the recurve is very very important. However, in the compound there is several techniques that right now I'm still working and still coaching on, and there is every one of these has a different meaning. So, for example, for my technique, maintaining the bow in the area of the shot is pretty impossible because my building my sequences from the down. So in the moment that I was working in the push line, in the moment I shot, there is nothing that's sustaining. So my deltoids is completely down, pectoral is completely down. There is only the pushing, the working in the abduction way. So in the moment that I shot, there is nothing that maintain my bow in that. So my bow is going down easily. Some other technique, like for example, Rio Wild and Mike Schlosser techniques are more in the backing technique and more use the shoulder in the sustain. So the dorsal is working in the sustain part. So after the shot, the arm is more stable and fixed in the same zone. And merging this technical competence and the different behavior of the bows, right now we have different possibility to balance the bow. I think that there is some, as I say, as an engineer, I already make my plan. So if you are in this zone or in this zone or in this zone, you can have zero follow through, very good follow through, or pretty not interesting follow through. But you have to work in the good area. So you have to assemble the technique and your bow in the proper way. Or the follow through is not the problem, the main problem. The follow through is only something that you really so easy after the shot, and you can read that there is a problem. I don't know if I'm enough clear, but however, this situation is more programmable than not only readable. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm learning from this because, as I said, like I have a recurve background, and yeah, I'm
Recurve
just
in this case is more. Recurve is more monothematic. No? Not a lot
Yeah.
of interpretation about the shot. In compound, we have several different techniques. However, if you see the follow through from a lot of athletes from Korea, for example, from working in the front way, the Korean is working in the closing part for the post shot correction, quite never going in the angle. But a lot of European work in the main alignment. So in this case, also you can see that the last back tension technique is already into a little different main alignment, and so you can make that's also in the recurve. There is some schools. No, I think that if you see Koreans, 90% of the shot are not going directly down, and the limbs is not touching the leg. A lot of time is passing completely in front of the body. And if you consider 90% of the European school technique and some US or international shooter, the limbs of the lower limbs is going directly on the leg. So in this case, also you can see there is more monothematic, but there is some interpretation also about the main line.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty also good in recurve coaching, but however,
I have no doubt about that. Okay, and the last one is dealing with the wind.
Oh, I think that here I can really put me in a very good rank. No, with a very very hard wind, I still maintaining a good performance. This is why my bow balancing was very strange, and also my release is action the action, so I can really switch from one type of shot to another one without changing the release. However, I think that one also very, very good in this is, so I repeat again, but Martin Dasbo is really good in the wind. I remember in past, I think that there's still a world archery final in Medellin, mixed team final, me and Marcella Tognoli against...
Do you remember the year?
Difficult. 2011 maybe, yeah. I think it was 10, 11, or maybe 13, 14, something. However, around 10 years ago, not very... Before 2016, 100% sure.
Okay.
Before 16, sure, 100%. And so I think the first time was 2011, 2012. So the mixed team gold final you have to watch are 3-4. No, I don't think not too much. However, the win that time was very, very hard. Consider that in the team, compound man team, Real Wild drop a miss during the final because the win was really, really impressive.
Wow.
And you was able to see me and Martin Dasbo on the shooting line managing a very, very strong wind. Consider that Camilla Semo, that was in the team, the Denmark team, she made a couple of steps during the aiming moment because the wind was very, very hard.
I'll make sure I watch that.
Marcella waiting for maybe we drop a miss in the next hand. However, if you see me and Martin, I think that we are very, very good in wind. And during that final, we're still making a very good performance, even if, trust me, the wind was unbelievable.
Awesome to watch. I'll make sure I look up that match. So I looked that up. Medellin 2013 mixed team compound gold medal match. It's absolutely crazy. It's worth checking that out. You can find that on YouTube. And last segment that we have every episode is some quick fire questions. The first ones are archery related, and then we move on to the ones that are not related to archery. So yeah, very, very quick and short answers. What is your most memorable shoot-off?
I think Vegas shoot-off.
16 or 19?
19, because 16 was only one end and surprised me so much. But 19, if you ask also to my friends, I leave from a house thinking about, okay, I will win Vegas and I will maintaining the focus on winning Vegas. And when we reach the final in 26, I was thinking, okay, no problem. It will be a long evening, but I will win for sure. And I was very, very confident during that final. And I was also confident a couple of years ago, but my release failed and the arrow dropped on the ground. However, I was enough confident, not so much as 2019. However, I was. Another very good moment of my career was the first time I won the individual world title in Nims against Rio Wild. In that time, the final was very, very hard for me, but however, was able to maintain a good level of performance, even if the lights was completely difficult to manage because it was very, very strong and very difficult to see clearly, or maybe it was too clear. So trying to understand, but however, was difficult, and also I have to put a lot of focus on that because I also was. I was shooting incredible during qualification and matches, so I was against myself to say, "Come on!" Not only because it's a final, there is something that you have to lose. Also, I was experienced because I already won two World Cup stages. But however, indoor for me was more. I love more. Indoor for me is a little more than outdoor. Even if I won two World Cup, to World Cup here, but winning the World Cup is more. Yes, okay, I have to shot better. Indoor is more. I have not to lose nothing. So for me, winning indoor is a little more emotion in that.
Great matches against great people. Amazing achievements. What is your favorite archery event in the world, current or past?
I love 70 meters. So for me, moving from 70 to 50 was losing a big part of the show, no? But however, I think that Vegas still one of the most interesting competition as a competitor because you have to protect your level. Right now, World Cup, I am a good shooter. I can shot 150. As I said before, I lost for a 10 with a 10 in the shoot off. My opponent is passing with a high score, but maybe I is the only one 150 on the ground. I was able to win everything, but I was out in the first match. So there is no level of protecting the result. World Archery is safe because there is someone on the podium. There is a one winning guy that he never lost. There is a second guy that lost only the final. But unfortunately, there is a lot of good athletes that have unlucky, and there is no possibility to maintain, to perform. So there is no secondary tournament. There is no robin round or something like that can prevent something like that. We already saw in the past, for example, with the hit or miss, just to changing the rules, but just changing the rules was completely Russian roulette because you don't know absolutely nothing during the match. I remember that I lost a match with a couple of hit and just little missing, and my opponent make the lines and shot one arrow in my target and say, sorry, I won. I won. Why I am tied? So I lost. So how is it possible? Is this forced to shooting better or just taking some lines? So what's really sometimes changing the rules is changing the meaning of the competition as an athlete. And also in the recurve, passing from the cumulative point to the set system, everything is changing in the mind. Yeah. As a compound, my only problem you can see, just taking the reference and you can see, every time I won, what actually changed the rules. I won 70 meters cumulative, they change in the 70 meter set system. I won again in the set system. The set system they change again in the 50 meters. So in the exactly same moment I won Nims in indoor set system, they already moved the score. They already moved the same weekend. They already moved the results, and the next rule was 150, so 15 arrows matches. So every time I won, they changed the rules. But this also sometimes I make this this conversation with Tom Dillon from the federation, the secretary, and they say,
Mhm.
what you are waiting, that I want to change, or you stop changing when I lost? So what do you want to do? So just knowing that. However, I think that changing the rules sometimes is a big changing for the athletes, not a lot of changing for the people at home watching. But I think that one of this really synergic for athletes as a performer and as a spectator to watch. I think that is Vegas really is one impressive. I already expressed this sometimes. I express again. I think that Olympics game for compound in Vegas rule should be amazing. However, we will see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit longer for that, sadly, but I believe it'll happen. What is your favorite bowl of all time? The one that, top one you would choose, special place in your heart.
As a place or as a competition?
Like your favorite bowl of all time.
Yes, but considering the moment I shot, or just because I love the bowl?
Just because you love the bowl. The one, if you're going to the practice field purely just to have fun, it's like, man, I want to shoot this one. It's got the best feeling.
This one.
And what model is it?
Prevail. The Prevail for me is a very big piece. In this case, with this bow, I also won the Vegas and I won several other tournaments. And
white, right?
And as a very big special. However, here you can see all the bow that I won from. With this bow, for example, was an ultra elite. During a single season, I maintained on 4 feet around. I score. My level medium was riser higher than 1400. I scored 14,
Wow.
1406, 1401, 1406, 1398 in a single season.
Whoa.
And so that's why also I qualified for my first 2 time. And then with the Vantage Elite Pro and the Vantage Elite Pro, I both won the Vega, the World Cup final. That's why everyone has the World Cup prize down of that.
Yeah.
With this one, I won European and American Italian record. And with this one is the bow that I shot against Real Wild in the World Cup, in the World Championship, and also I won other tournaments. And this one is the podium that I won Vegas the first time, and still there are rest for both and the side, because I think that they give me enough money to leave my stuff on that. So that's why.
Yeah.
And however, both are amazing. But this one, even if I have bad feeling, the Pro Comp Excel, I have the highest score ever. So 714 and 598 in indoor with this bow. But if you ask me about my feeling, it's not my favorite. However, sometimes you have to compare your level with the bow. But in this case, I think that Prevail has the higher competence between my feedback, the results, and also the line. The line, I also help Hoyt to design the lower parts. I think is so sexy, but however, it is my personal,
It looks really good. Looks really good. Okay, moving on from archery. What is your dream vacation destination?
Oh, first, there is an island next to my region, is Isla d'Elba. That is one of the. It's very small. It's very historical. So quiet place. Sometimes a little too touristic there. But however, I spend all the vacation from, I think, when I was young. So when I grew from 1 to 16 years old, so maybe all the summer there. And then I have to skip so many times the vacation during summer just for archery. But this season I decided to go back there in the same beach that I left 20 years ago with my family, with my 6 years old daughter, and all my family fall in love with this again. And so I showed to my daughter, you see that house? That house was from your grandparent. But he sold several years ago, and she looked at me and say, "But Dad, this place is very, very good. Why you buy again?" Yes, but it's not now someone is living there, so it's not so easy. However, this is my dream vacation, family with a very, 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 very small and very, very relaxing. However, playground and having a lot of fun, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, and Star Wars Edge with my daughter and my wife also is fascinating me, and I try to go there in the next few years.
Yeah, and I would love to go as well. I'm dying to see that. And do you have any hobbies or pets?
Yes, it's just there. There is a full collection of Lego Star Wars. This is my
Oh,
hobby. Maybe in future I can show you. There is a
yeah.
quite, I think, one of the most good collection that you can see is not only on Instagram,
Whoa.
so it's more than 5 meters of wall full of Star Wars Lego set. So yes, Lego is relaxing me a lot. So it's really helping me to take out my mind for everything. However, I love, as I say, I am a nerd, so I'm sorry. I love Warhammer. I love other role playing. And so I was a D&D player when I was younger, and I have friends who give me
Whoa.
the possibility to play. So I think that yes, if you are a nerd and you love some games, I also love. So no problem.
Yeah, I love it. I'm like, I like you even more now because I'm totally a nerd as well. And do you have pets?
Yes, I have Athena. Is my dog. Is a American Amstaff, Staffordshire, and is my first dog ever. And when we decided to take was December 2015. She was very small. We saw her. I dreamed her exactly same colors. And when decided to go to take, I asked. They show me and to my wife a lot of dogs in this was from 2 or 3 months age, and I look and say, I'm sorry, but I have not the feeling. No, when you have not the feeling, and so but why? Because I don't know. Because I had a dream of this dog made like this, and this, and she looked at me and say, "Who sent you here?" I say, "No one." Why? Because maybe I have the dog for you. She had 5 dogs that she had a world champ dog in the past, so she takes some seeds, and so she's waiting for a good female to make. So this dog died, I think, 6 or 7 years before, and so after a lot of time, she decided to take these dogs. Usually are 3, 4 during this operation, but 5 dogs this time, so a little more that she was expecting. And one of these was a little smaller, was a female, and we decided to have a female. And then she grabbed and showed me. No one never saw this. It's 3 weeks. She showed me and was exactly the dog that I trained. And you know what happened?
Well,
We take back. I say, okay, we are going making the competition this season. The last competition will be Vegas, and then I come back because after Vegas the dog will be 3 months, so it's enough big to bring it home. And you know what happened? I won Vegas as a lucky dog. So I think that was a little related, no? That's why.
wow, this is unbelievable.
Yes. So when there's someone saying you're a lucky dog, yes, I have a lucky dog. It only is waiting for me. So my
Whoa,
wife
unbelievable.
love animals in all the possibility. My daughter also. So sometimes I'm scared when I'm out and they send me, you found. We found a cat. We found a dog around. Say, I was waiting that I come back home finding some other animals, but unfortunately, nothing right now. So.
Not yet. Okay, a movie and or book recommendation can be archery related or not.
No possibility of changing. Obviously, as a Star Wars fan, I can put my finger on Star Wars. Obviously, the original series, and even if I like also all the from 1 to 3 and 6 to 9 and all the spin-off of Disney Plus, you can make me give an account even if. And as a book, I read so many times Lord of the Rings, the original, and all the books from Tolkien. So all the stories, Silmarillion, I think that I read 11 times, something like that. Even if the people that hold
Oh.
Silmarillion know that it's not easy to read because it's very, very heavy.
Hmm.
However, that's why, for example, my nickname is Beren, from Beren and Luthien story from the Silmarillion. So I think that reading a lot of good, a lot of my wife loved read a lot, but however the way that Tolkien is writing the story and the color and the heaviness of the places during the reading, sometimes I 99% of trust that everyone that reads the Lord of the Rings the first time, when you arrive in the chapter that is the long steps going to Mordor, and everyone stopped reading because it's heavy. And I love this fact that you are in the Hobbyville, everything is easy to read, and when you are in a dark place, everything is so difficult to read. So that's for me the best way to have a good reading, having this emotional feedback from the way that. And Tolkien obviously is one of the best writer ever.
Amazing, amazing. I'm yet to read The Lord of the Rings, but after hearing this, makes me want to read it even more.
I think that I am not one of the nerds that say, "Oh, come on, the movie is shit and and only the book is good." I think that movie and books are two different stuff. So if you want to have exactly the idea that you had, never watch the movie. And however, for example, I also Game of Thrones. I love the series of Game of Thrones, and we start to watch the series, and then we start to read the books, and it's exactly the same. So it's easy to pass from the couple of books from the series to the books is exactly the same. Only after the season 3 or 4, I don't remember exactly when the changes came a little more evident. But however, I love the differences. So I don't want to read the script of the movie. I
Hmm.
want to read a book, and then I want to see a movie. So,
Fair enough. Last one, a song and why.
ooh, song. I love rock and roll, and however 90s rock and roll. One of my favorite ever, the Sultan of Swing of Dire Straits.
Ah, great one.
I was talking in an hard rock cafe with George Technikov, that is also saying me that Dire Straits is loved so much, and also George was a radio speaker during the engineering time in university, and that's also the moment that I express this is look at me and say me that so you're so good in. And we never realized that in that moment we decide my nickname for my career, that was Sultan of Smooth, because it came
Ah,
from the Sultan
okay, all
of
right.
Swing.
Awesome. So cool. So cool. I love Dire Straits. Big fan of Mark Knopfler. Ooh, for sure. One
However,
more.
Guns N' Roses and all the more heavy rock and roll during 90s also is my favorite. If I have to put the second, is Night Train from Guns N' Roses. Is Sweet China O' Mine is around the top 10. However, ACDC also, and however, as I say, it's difficult for me because I'm a little polyedric in music. I also love Italian music, more pop music. However, depend. I'm not very only this. I'm very open. However, I think that in my top 10, 90% is rock and roll. Spaghetti Incident from Guns N' Roses is one also in the top layer.
Awesome. Awesome. Sergio, we've come to the end of it. This is for sure the longest episode of the show I've ever had.
And so
I really
that I
appreciate.
speak too much, so I know.
No, I loved it. I really appreciate your time, everything you've said. It was a pleasure to get to know you because, as I said, we never talked before, and it was beyond all my expectations. Everything you said, how your work ethic, how you see it all. So it was a real pleasure, and I wish you all the best going forward. And I look forward to when we're going to meet in person and we can have this chat and talk all things nerdy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you once again. All the best, Sergio. Wow, what a chat. Sergio is just brilliant. And one thing really struck me about him, and it's something I've seen in other outstanding people I've met. It's how much confidence he's got in himself, in his approach, in his work. However, it doesn't come across as arrogant. He does what he does well, and he knows it. There's no ego in it, just a pure belief in himself. It was fascinating to hear his stories, how much he values the trust between athlete and coach, the sofa rule, and everything. And something I share with him is our nerd side. I guess I don't have to say anything other than that I have a Star Wars tattoo myself. But Lord of the Rings is something I'm yet to discover deeply. Sergio was so generous with his time, and I'm so grateful for that. Grazie mille. Feel free to reach out to me with suggestions, feedback, or questions you'd like to have answered here in the show, or to simply share cool stories. You can find the show's Instagram, X, YouTube, and email in the description. And if you like the show, please subscribe, like, comment, share, spread the word. Tell other people about the Shoot Off Archery podcast. That helps me a lot. So from me, it's bye for now, and I'll talk to you again in 2 weeks. And until then, keep on shooting strong, and may the force be with you. This is the Shoot Off Archery podcast. I'm Bernardo Oliveira. Thanks for listening.